The exam itself?
The exam itself is actually on April 30th, and April 30th, 2011. And actually, after March 15th, they can still apply.
Okay.
Only difference is there'll be an extra $50 processing fee.
All right, so we should probably talk about the fact that there is a fee involved, a $100 examination fee, but if you don't have the 100, are there things you can do?
Yeah, there's if you go to the website, www.mass.gov/civil service, there's information there which will tell you how you can get a fee waiver.
Okay.
And there's a hotline also you can call.
Do you have that number for us?
Yeah, 617.
Yep.
878.
I'll write it down as you 617
878
878
9895.
9895. And again, we want to keep pumping out the fact that bpdnews.com. Any and all things we discuss here tonight, bpdnews.com, as you can see in the bottom of your screen. Check it out. And again, if you miss something or you don't hear a number, we encourage you to visit the website to get additional information. The exam, it says, is for cities, towns, and the MBTA. Obviously, MBTA represented here today, but what do they mean by towns and cities? What's the distinction there?
Different cities are looking for applicants also.
Okay.
The civil service exam covers every city in the state of Massachusetts, and that's why the exam will be given different locations. You sign up for different cities that you're taking the exam, and that's where the residency preferences come into play.
Residency requirement kicks in.
Yes.
I mean, I want to ask a question about the state police. They give a separate exam from the one that's being given?
No, theirs is...
Does there a fall under this one as well?
Yes.
Okay, so state trooper, actually maybe I think there might be a distinction, but because someone was telling me if you took the 2009 trooper exam, which is somewhat different from this one, if you took that exam and you want to be eligible for cities, towns, and MBTA, I think you got to take this one.
Yeah, I don't believe this, the state trooper exam, but the state trooper list will be established from this current exam.
Right.
A list just came out about 6 months ago for the state police when they opted into the last civil service test, which is the first time they'd ever actually done that.
Okay.
They had run their own test before.
Okay. So up until then, there'd been two separate exams.
Correct.
Okay. But for people looking to either become an MBTA police officer, become a Boston police officer, again, March 15th is the deadline to sign up. You can, there is a $100 sign-up fee. You can sign up until April 1st, you said?
April 1st.
Okay, but there could be a late fee involved, which they may or may not waive. And again, April 30th is the exam date. And again, bpdnews.com for more information. I want to emphasize the obvious here, but if you want to be a police officer, can you do that without taking this exam?
No, you cannot. You have to take the exam.
Right, so there's no getting around it.
No.
If you want to get on this job, you got to take the exam, and it's as simple as that. Do you guys remember, Tom, taking the exam?
Which time?
Right. I mean, everyone's taken the exam multiple times.
You can do well on it the first time and through no fault of your own not get hired.
Right.
So, you know, but I do remember taking it. I remember taking it each time.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
Yeah, everybody remembers taking the exam.
Can
we go back
I remember taking
a little ways?
No, I remember taking the exam. I remember being upset that they had taken the exam because what they did, they gave us a picture, and we had to look at the picture for about 15 minutes to memorize the picture.
I think I remember that exam.
And then we had to take the exam right away. But the person giving us the exam didn't give us the exam right away. We waited for some reason.
Ooh.
So there was almost a stampede in there.
Yeah, I bet there's some hotheads there for sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about requirements on the exam itself. Do you have to be a certain age? Can you be a sophomore in high school? Can you be 16 years old? How old do you have to be to take this exam?
21 is the minimum age.
21 for both departments, MBTA and or Boston.
Correct. That's civil service across the board.
Civil service across the board.
Correct.
Is there an age? We got a minimum of 21. Is there a max? Is there a certain age in which you're no longer eligible to become a police officer? I think we have an age.
For most cities, it's 32, but for Boston, it's 40 as of April 30th, 2011.
Okay, so up till 40.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't have.
Tom, you guys don't.
No, we do not.
You'll take anybody.
Correct.
41, 45, 50.
Correct.
Okay, no age requirement, which is an important thing to know. How about education level? Do you have to have a high school degree, GED? What do you need to have?
A GED,
Yep.
a high school diploma, or 3 years military.
Okay.
If you are going to have a GED, the requirements has to be from an actual institution. It can't be from an online class.
And let me ask you this too. I mean, does having, okay, you get your high school degree, you guys are doing recruit investigations. Does additional education help an applicant when applying for the position?
It does. When you're doing the background investigation, it pretty much shows a desire on their part to further educate themselves.
Right.
So
And I imagine it helps you. Makes
Yes,
you
it does.
more qualified candidate, if you will.
Yeah.
You guys, in doing the recruit investigations, you're actually talking to the applicants?
yes.
Correct.
Okay. In talking to these guys, or talking to the men and women who are applying for these positions, are there any mistakes people make, or any advice you could give to a person who's applying for this job? It actually made it to the point where an officer's coming out to sit down and talk to them about joining the job. Any advice you'd offer up?
Most importantly, just be honest and truthful, because everything's going to be found out about the background. When we do the background on the applicants, we find out everything. Okay. We look under every stone, and nothing is left untouched. So just being honest and truthful up front, it's going to save them a lot of pain in the end.
Tommy, I imagine more of the same. You'd probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, is to be honest. We're not looking for perfect people. We're looking for good candidates. So if you've done something in your past, be honest about it. Because if we find out about it and we've proven that you're untruthful, then at least if it was my background, I'd probably determine you were not eligible to be a police officer, just based on that.
And here's the thing, too. I mean, people make mistakes. We all know that. And I know people who've got to become police officers may have been arrested for a minor incident in their past, be it, drinking in public or something crazy like that when they were in high school. To the person out there who thinks, well, I got arrested one time. There's no way I could ever be a police officer. Do we allow room for people to make mistakes? Yes,
we have room for errors in it. We look at the whole picture. We don't just look at one thing. We look at your complete background. If you were arrested, what were you arrested for, and what have you done since then? Has there been any changes in your life since then? We don't just look at one thing. We judge the whole person, not just one part of you.
Tommy,
No, absolutely, and you shouldn't be discouraged. If you want to be a police officer, and let's say you're now 21, 22, and you were arrested last summer for a minor infraction or something like that, don't give up. Maybe you won't get hired this time. Maybe enough time hasn't passed, but still try to continue, straighten yourself up, prove that it was just a one-time incident, and just show us that you want to be a police officer.
Yeah, but you take the test, you score well, and I imagine that maybe the process itself, you're talking to people who have scored well, and what else? Have they passed a drug test? Have they, by the time they see you, what's happened?
By the time they see us, they've gotten a letter, a postcard saying you are being processed to become a police officer. They haven't taken the drug test yet when they sign up. But once we start the background investigation, they do take the drug test. Okay. And then what happens after that?
But the fact that you guys are showing up is a good sign.
Right. If you get a postcard, that means you're getting processed.
You get a chance to actually get on the job. Okay.
Right. You take the drug test, and then we start the investigation on your background. And that's when we start calling you, calling your friends, calling your bosses, calling everybody who knows you, just to find out who this person is.
We talk about the importance of being honest. Integrity is a huge part of this job. Some people make mistakes of being less than honest. If you can answer the question, what kind of things do people lie about? Do they inflate their resumes? Do they say they went to a school and they didn't go to a school? I mean, are there any kind of common mistakes that they make?
I see a lot of some of them are minor lies, some of them are major. Some people will be untruthful on how many motor vehicle citations they have. Sometimes a motor vehicle citation may not show up on your driver's history.
Yep.
And maybe it didn't get reported right. But we're going to find it. And if you don't report it, I have one on my driver's history. I have a written warning that does not show up on my driver's history from the state police.
Right.
But I reported it because I know that I had received it.
Right.
Even though it didn't show up, I knew it was there.
Yep.
And they found it. Okay? And so you just need to be honest about anything. Being suspended in high school, be honest about it. Have you ever been disciplined at work in your employment? Be honest about it. Don't lie, because if you lie, then you're done.
You find out.
Right. Correct.
Thanks for showing up.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Good information there. What about residency? I want to touch on that real quick. For somebody who wants to get on in Boston, again, folks, take a look at the information about signing up for the police exam. If I'm from Boston and I want to get on, join the Boston Police Department, does it help that I'm from?
Yeah, definitely.
The city?
You get preference for the Boston Police Department over someone who, say, lives in Watertown when you take the civil service exam. And for Boston, the residency requirement for this exam is you must have lived in Boston from April 30th, 2010 to April 30th, 2011. The entire year.
A year before.
A year before.
Okay, and that qualifies you for residency.
Yes.
All right. March 15th, Got to sign up. April 30th is the exam. There is an examination fee of $100, but if you don't get it, we can work something out with you. Let me just, last couple of questions. The exam itself, and they could probably get this from a teacher or somebody, but any advice for the day of the exam?
Relax, get a good night's sleep, you know, eat.
Eat.
Don't stress yourself about it.
Yeah.
Just go in there and just answer the questions.
Don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
Cheat's good advice.
Like I said, be honest on the exam and just take your time. They're gonna be nervous. They're gonna be nervous. It's like I said before, it's life changing.
You're right.
You know, and just like just enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
You know.
We talked about it too. I mean, the exam itself will be held at different sites throughout the state. You should probably know where to go, Tom.
Absolutely. If I could just touch on one thing that he said there, you really want to just relax the night before and just do your normal activity. But when you take the test, I think they give you 3 hours. Use the 3 hours. What I do when I took the test, I finished it. Then I went over the entire test again, and I found a couple mistakes. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And if you're in a rush to get out of there, if you have something to do, okay. But if you have the time, use it. They're giving you 3 hours, which is plenty. Take your time with the questions. If you skip a question, make sure you skip it on the answer key as well.
Yeah,
it's
not a race.
No, and just relax.
All right, last thing. Great advice by both of you. Public Safety Career Expo this Saturday. You guys both going to be there?
I will, yes.
Okay, you're going to be there. So if folks want to sign up, they can go online, or they can actually come by and see you this Saturday at the
Ruggles Tea Station. We'll be there. I'll have the applications in my hand. If you want them, I'll give them to help you fill it out if you want.
Awesome. Dudes, that was great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. All right, folks, again, you've seen the information. Sign up by March 15th. The exam itself is April 30th. Thank you so much for watching Call the Cops. Any more information you need, please go to bptnews.com. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.